Hello all you freedom-loving people. Welcome to another episode of Front Page. I'm your host, Scott Cameron Goulet. The recent week has marked a series of volatile world politics. First, we have the resignation of the Prime Minister of Japan, followed by a military coup in the African country of Guinea over the weekend, then the upcoming elections in Germany and Canada, for both of which the current ruling party have low approval ratings, which adds to the uncertainty to the future direction of the world. In particular, the sudden death of the German ambassador to China just 2 weeks after he took office has shocked the world. We will focus today on the situation in Guinea and Germany. The common feature of these two governments is their proximity to the Chinese Communist Party, and neither has met with good returns. Okay, let's get into it. A military coup has broken out in the West African country of Guinea. On September 5th, mutinous soldiers took President Alpha Condé, now 83 years old, into custody and announced the annulment of the constitution and the dissolution of the government. Dozens of armed vehicles appeared in the capital, Conakry, and they circled the presidential palace. A fierce gun battle rang out between coup soldiers and security forces at the presidential palace, and some people managed to film the clash. Later, Colonel Mamadi Doumbouya, the leader of the coup, said on state-run television that poverty and corruption were rampant in the country under President Condé's administration. They have now arrested the president and removed him from office. They have dissolved the government and set up the National Rally and Development Committee, the CNRD, Transitional Government. They will work together to rewrite the Constitution and asked former government officials to come to the meeting on the morning of the 6th, and if they do not show up, it will be considered a mutiny against the transitional government. According to military sources, President Condé was taken to an undisclosed location, and Doumbouya also arrested several others, including high-ranking government officials. Another senior Guinean official told Reuters that Condé was unharmed, but no further details were released beyond that. Several photos have been circulating on social media showing President Condé in a room surrounded by Special Forces personnel. However, it is not yet possible to confirm the authenticity of the photo. A Western diplomat who did not want to be named told AFP that the unrest erupted after the government tried to dismiss a high-ranking Special Forces commander. He believes that the government's move angered some military personnel who consequently mutinied and took over the presidential palace. Reuters reports that Guinea's economy grew during the decade of Condé's rule, but the gains fell into the hands of a few, and systemic corruption led to a widespread public discontent. After the gunfire stopped, many people in the capital took to the streets to celebrate the successful coup, shouting, "Guinea is free." Guinea has a population of about 13 million and a land area of about 240,000 square kilometers. It's a very small country located in West Africa with a large quantity of mineral resources. It is the second largest producer of bauxite and has rich deposits of iron, gold, copper, uranium, diamonds, and so on. In southeastern Guinea, the Simandou mine represents one of the largest iron ore reserves in the world. So, what is the impact of a regime change in such a small country? We all know the butterfly effect, and this small country in West Africa is actually closely related to the Chinese Communist Party's grand strategy. In an article published by the AFP on June 6, it noted that the Chinese Communist Party and Guinea have close ties. Guinea, which became independent in 1958, is one of the first African countries to recognize the People's Republic of China. For this reason, the two countries have established a strong relationship. But it is President Condé, who has just been ousted, is the one who has really brought the economies of China and Guinea together. China, which is expanding its influence with the Belt and Road Initiative, and Guinea, which is seeking to develop its infrastructure, have found common ground. On October 9th, 2019, the 60th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between China and Guinea, President Condé thanked China for the valuable support and help it has provided over the years. The Chinese ambassador to Guinea, Wang Wei, was also very straightforward. He said, "Guinea is a country with great wealth and it is a geological gem." Doesn't that say it all? Beijing's thirst for raw materials has never been satisfied, so we understand why the CCP is so interested in Guinea. The Simandou mine in Guinea is one of the biggest in the world, and China needs to import 1 billion tons of iron ore every year. But the problem is that mining this deposit requires investment in a 679-kilometer long railroad and a deep-water port in order to transport the iron ore out of Guinea. All of this requires an investment of 9 billion euros over 5 years. To control the competition and pricing of iron ore, international companies have invested in Guinea. In the late 2000s, the Guinean government transferred the exploration rights from Australian mining giant Rio Tinto to the Israeli Benny Steinmetz Group, or the BSGR. After Condé seized power, he cancelled the mining rights given to BSGR. So this way, the obstacle of the CCP's development of the Simandou iron mine were removed. The Simandou mine is divided into 4 blocks in which Chinese companies own the majority. The CCP is not afraid of such a huge investment, but as of now, nothing has officially started yet. The CCP is also invested in another bauxite project in Guinea, which supplies more than half of China's total bauxite imports each year. Experts believe that Beijing is actively seeking Guinea's natural resources in order to reduce its dependence on Australia. The Chinese Communist regime and Australia have been at odds with each other ever since Canberra backed Washington's position on containing the expansion of the CCP. In the Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, the United States, Japan, India, and Australia have joined forces to create a blockade around China to contain the Communist Party's economic and military ambitions. Lauren Johnston, a research associate at the SOAS China Institute, said that mining in Simandou has changed the world market and made Guinea a major iron ore exporter alongside Australia and Brazil. Johnston said, for the CCP, the advantages are multiple: diversification of supply, lowering of prices, and the consequent decline of Australia's weight in the sector. As a result, Beijing has always tried to maintain the best possible relationship with President Condé and has invested frequently in Guinean projects. Last October, when Condé was re-elected, the CCP was among the first to congratulate him. Now, with the fall of Condé, China has lost an important ally in Guinea. However, we do not yet know what the new military regime's international policy will be. Will it follow in the footsteps of Condé? Will China remain an important ally? The Chinese are already a leader in the bauxite mining, and Guinea is the world's second largest exporter of bauxite. Will the military in power tolerate the continuation of its relationship with the CCP? In a speech, Coup leader Mamadi Doumbouya said that the transitional government will assure economic and financial partners of normal business activities in the country, and they will fulfill all its obligations. Before we continue with our next story, I want to take a moment to thank you all for your support here at Front Page. Your donations and your membership subscriptions really do help us to keep telling the truth. Every like, comment, and share helps more people to see the truth. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And if you have already subscribed, please double check to make sure that you are still subscribed. We have heard from many of our viewers that they don't get notifications of our videos anymore. So if you don't mind, please follow us on Telegram, Gab, and Parler for the latest updates. All the links are in the description. Our Telegram chat room is growing, and many of our YouTube live chat regulars are there as well. So I hope to see you there soon. Okay, let's get back into it. Jan Hecker, Germany's new ambassador to China for 2 weeks, passed away suddenly on September 6th, shocking the world. Hecker had worked as a lawyer and university associate professor before entering politics. Since 2017, he has been Angela Merkel's foreign policy advisor and then served as the head of the Department of Foreign Policy, Security, and Development Policy. His death has set back Merkel's moderate policy on the CCP. According to the German media Der Spiegel, Hecker proved his worth in his refugee policy. He and Lars Hendrik Roller, an advisor of finance and economics, have become a young generation that Merkel relies on. They have accompanied Merkel on almost all of her foreign visits. Journalists consider Hecker a low-key and knowledgeable expert and someone that the Chancellor could trust. Hecker was part of the inner circle of German political leaders, and according to some German media, Merkel had hoped that Hecker could continue her China policy after she leaves office. Merkel issued a statement expressing her condolences, saying, "I am profoundly shaken by Hector's death." According to Der Spiegel, almost no one in Berlin has had as much influence on the Chancellor's foreign policy in recent times as Hector. Now, Merkel faces a difficult task in China. It is well known that Merkel has invested a lot of political capital in building an adequate relationship with Beijing during her chancellorship. No one can persuade her to disengage from friendly relations with the CCP, regardless of how the CCP behaves or how much international pressure there is for her to join the United States in taking a tougher stance against the CCP. The image of the CCP has deteriorated considerably in recent years, not only in the eyes of the German public, but also in the eyes of Berlin pundits and politicians. But Merkel's China policy has not kept pace with this change in sentiment. There is no doubt that her foreign policy advisor, Hector, helped shape and support this line. Many observers believe that the next German government may take a harsher stance against the Chinese Communist Party. As one of her last major personnel decisions, Merkel sent Hector to Beijing, which was interpreted by some in Berlin and the European Union as an attempt to somehow retain her policy towards China even after she leaves office. For years, Merkel has taken a toddler's approach in dealing with the CCP. She criticizes the Communist Party's human rights abuses on the surface, but won't provoke anything against this important trading partner. She sidesteps Joe Biden's initiative of coalitions of democracies against the CCP. Hector represents Merkel's moderate CCP line. The Chinese Foreign Ministry had explicitly welcomed his appointment, citing his close ties with the German Chancellor, who has taken a rather restrained approach in Europe's increasing tense relationships with China. Der Spiegel wrote, Hector no longer has the opportunity to develop his image in China. But Merkel's troubles are not over yet. Germany will hold parliamentary elections on the 26th, ending her 16 years as chancellor. But the support rate of her coalition party, the CDU and the CSU, is lagging behind, making Germany and Europe's future policy direction full of variables. The left-of-center SPD is leading in the polls for the 5th week in a row and is widening its lead to 25%, while the CDU-CSU is down to 20%. This means that the CDU-CSU coalition may suffer a crushing defeat in the election on the 26th. The resulting coalition government would be formed by several parties with different attributes, with the Social Democrat candidate Finance Minister Olaf Scholz as Prime Minister. Experts believe that with the current polls, at least 3 coalition government combinations are likely to emerge, and this time it may also take 3 to 4 months to form a cabinet. In China, there's been a popular saying recently, which is staying away from the CCP is staying away from bad luck. This does seem to make a lot of sense. Okay, this is our show for today. And if you want more Front Page, please join us on our membership site for in-depth reports and sensitive news that you cannot see on YouTube. And again, if you like what you heard, please don't forget to like and subscribe this video and share it with at least one of your friends, because everybody deserves to know the truth. Again, thank you for watching Front Page, and we will see you next time.